This book, The Confessions of an American Black Widow, was written by Gregg Olsen. Sharon Nelson did, in fact, though, go out on the search parties, you say. What did she act like when all the investigators were trying to unravel this case?
Well, there were a couple of things that it was pretty odd. I mean, Sharon was acting as though she was on a holiday when she would go on these search trips with the friends from the community. They lived out in a little tiny community in southeastern Colorado, and when Dr. Nelson was first missing, there was a search attempt, but Sharon acted like it was a party. She would, hit on the guys that were with her in the search van.
Gosh.
She was hungry, she was tired, she wanted to shop. She just didn't seem to take it seriously.
Not the role of the grieving widow.
Not really. I mean, and that was a role that she really, in later life, would turn out to play quite well, but not then.
It was over a year later, Lori, 13 months it took them to find your dad's body.
Yes.
They found his body in the river?
Yes.
Which is a very turbulent river with a lot of rapids. What was the condition of his body?
Well, according to what we heard from the medical examiner, his body was in very good condition for having been in the water for that length of time. And yet the police said that he died from a blow to the head, most likely caused while floating down the river.
And it was deemed an accident?
It was deemed an accident.
What was Sharon's reaction to finding the body?
She immediately had him cremated and said that she was going to have him flown back to Michigan, where his parents lived, and let them have the memorial service for him.
Did you ask her questions that I know your family must have been thinking of? What about an insurance policy?
I did. I asked her if he had a will or if he had insurance. And she said the only insurance policy that he had was a small policy to cover the mortgage on their house, and that he had no will. In fact, when they sent him to Michigan for his memorial service, she said she didn't even have the money to buy him a tombstone.
But Greg, that wasn't the case at all.
Not at all. You asked Lori what her reaction was, what Sharon's reaction was when the body was found. It was elation, because at that point, Sharon was able to cash in on up to $250,000 worth of life insurance. And she was cashing it in, and selling the business. They had an optometry business.
And she gave $50,000 to one man.
Right, to Gary Adams, her lover.
All right, so now the twists and turns start. So on top of everything else, Lori was about to find out that her father's death was now being investigated as a murder. She gave part of the money to this mountain man lover, Gary.
Right, she bought him a truck, she gave him $50,000, and promised that she'd love him forever, but it didn't work out between the two of them.
She did not love him forever. What happened with that?
Well, I think she did actually love him, but they couldn't stand living together. Even though they had plotted this murder, they had, done everything they could to pull it off. The end result was not just the money, but it was also for them to be together. Didn't work.
So Sharon moved on.
That's right.
To her next prey. The third husband.
Right. She moved out of the little town and moved up to Denver, where she advertised in a personal ad for a new boyfriend, a new man. I mean, talk about advertising. I mean, she met a guy a man named Gregg Olsen, who was a Denver fireman, the nicest guy in the world, had come out of a divorce and was looking for love.
So Gregg Olsen wrote this book called The Confession of an American Black Widow. He did not interview Sharon Nelson for the book, and Marcia says that she's very upset about that.
Yes, she's mad. She would have liked him to talk to her before he wrote what he wrote. Another author had approached her, and she did talk to him. I believe Mr. Olsen got his notes, but those were done in 1990 and 1991, and she never was spoken to by this author.
I corresponded with Sharon, and I did base the quotes from her in the book all on those interviews conducted by another writer, probably 8 or 9 hours worth of tapes. And I felt after listening to him, I didn't need to meet this woman. I knew enough about her. I didn't need to hear it again.